This has been brushed this year? Your hair?
Only a day ago.
Wow. There's a couple of little dready bits underneath here.
Really? Like Pirate of the Caribbean style.
Some porridge.
Porridge?
What porridge is doing down here?
Well, I haven't had porridge for about 2 weeks.
Is it maybe... Have you not?
No.
Is it maybe Eileen's porridge?
Possibly. Or about Weetabix.
Huh?
She is partial to a bit of Weetabix.
Does that normally happen then when you sleep on your hair?
What?
Go a bit sort of dready at the bit underneath?
Well, it tends to be at the neck area.
Right.
I wouldn't say I'm a sweaty person.
Uh-huh.
But I would say
But
during the day.
but occasionally you've got to swim out of bed.
No.
No?
Well, it tends not to happen in bed. It tends to happen during the day, like when you've got a scarf on.
During the day when you've got a scarf on?
Yeah.
That's never... You know, every day's a learning day for me. I never really thought... Anyway, I'll give it a good brush through.
Okay.
With a mason. Let me know how that feels. It's not too tuggy on you, is it?
No. Well, there's a little bit. It's a little bit tender towards the neck area.
Is it? What have you been doing to make it... It's things being pulled towards the neck area, Katie? What have you been up to?
Not so great.
So, what's your thoughts today?
Well, I've got a little bit of embarrassment going on.
What's that?
I've got a bit of breakage.
Breakage, my favourite then. Mm-hmm.
And a bit of in a very obvious area.
Right.
Well, to me it's very obvious. So I wonder, could you help me out? Could you help me disguise it?
Where is it? Because it looks good. The hair looks good when you see it like that. It's quite voluptuous and... Isn't it?
I did it myself.
Okay. Where's your breakage part?
Bang. In the middle.
Yeah.
Pretty spiky.
What happened? Should I ask?
Oh
yeah, so I can see it.
I think it was a top knot.
Overnight? Did it get hanked when you pulled it out?
No, I didn't feel a snap. There was nothing to feel.
Or was it your... something else, do you think? Anyway, whereabouts do you normally part your hair?
Right bang in the middle.
Right.
Shall I show you what I do?
Well, I mean, I can put it in.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, is that where you tend to wear it?
Yeah, like I would say I line it up with my nose, like there.
Okay. Well, in that instance then, since we are doing something on ponytails today, we are, aren't we? What time are we going live on Facebook? Did you press the button?
I must have pressed the button.
You fudger. You're not allowed to do that, we're not ready. Hello. We were talking about your breakage and everything, you pickled onion. Okay, well, if we're live, we're live.
We're live.
Okay, so the idea really is to show you, show people how to make a ponytail very quickly for like a night out or something that's a bit more elegant. So firstly, I always suggest like a low parting and really gently push the hair over, and that's so that what happens is you get like a sweep from the parting. So you want that hair to come down low, and it just looks that little bit more elegant rather than, you know, really pull back. And also another little trick is that when it goes over, you shouldn't really overcomb the hair. Let it kind of fall down, and just with the crown, just take the crown back the way, because that gives you a little bit of lift there and stops it looking too slack to the head.
But doesn't that show my vulnerable bits?
Well, we've all got them.
Area.
We've all got them. So how would I disguise that?
The baby hair.
I would just really pull that forward a little bit more. You know, a little bit like that, because everyone's got a sort of, everyone has a receding area, and obviously with you not long giving birth to Eiley, your hair's probably a little bit more vulnerable. So the trick is to kind of get the comb and sort of pull that down a bit, and try and guide every hair that you've got in the front, even if they are sparse, over to the side.
Okay. So do you think that's quite common then on women after childbirth?
It is very common.
Thinner in areas.
It's very common because you know, the body goes through serious you know, meltdown,
trauma,
basically. You know, much more serious than what us men can even really kind of fathom. You know, what goes on with the woman's body is quite amazing. And it's basically turns itself inside out.
Literally, in some cases.
So, as you can see, I want this front to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I can just kind of disguise your little softer ones. So we want it to come forward.
That's a nice word. Softer ones.
And suddenly it becomes quite elegant, that. And you know, it's not critical that you get the ponytail too tight either.
Okay.
You know, it's not absolutely critical that we put too much tension on the hair. And that's something that I've learned just recently, you know, working backstage, assisting backstage, is that the hair can just be nicely placed, and the actual elastic can be held nicely in the nape, but quite doesn't have to be super tight. It can just be something. See, that's kind of got a nice little sweep to it, you know, goes with your outfit.
There you go.
Goodness. So
what are you doing at the back?
Well, really simple actually. Again, you can see now, look from the profile, you've only got a little short parting, just a little sort of 3-inch one, and the crown comes back, and that just gives you that little bit of lift there, just makes it a little bit more voluminous at the root. You know, and it means that from the side profile, you can see that, you know, this doesn't have to be super neat, and that was something that was very current during the Fashion Week season, that the hair was clasped back, but it doesn't have to be really super tight, close, nipped in. It can still be gathered, but just be a little bit relaxed. So you can see there, when you look at that from the profile, it still looks tight, but when you look really closely, there's a little bit of detail in it. You know, the hair isn't really pulled too hard across. So, just making sure that all the little traily ones are in. Make sure you got your clothes on correctly, please, Kate.
It's a bit chilly on the old chair.
Okay, so I'm just going to use a piece of this.
It looks like a shoelace.
It is a shoelace from a mouse's shoe. It's a piece of shearing elastic, and that is, I have used that before.
You have?
Yeah, on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for us to use an elastic cord which doesn't damage the hair at all. So it's round, it's not flat.
Yeah.
And the roundness means that we can put the elastic in, and it won't, it's the same shape as the hair. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to do it on my own because I don't need an assistant, even though we've got 3,000 in the salon. I'm just going to flip it round.
Yeah. Do you want to do it side on? I think you should do it side on.
Okay. So how do I do it?
I think we should have a lovely assistant.
I flip it round, I catch it with my thumb here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I go in with one turn. Now, and I give it some pull, and I've just sent the elastic in between my fingers again. And another little pull. How does that feel?
That feels good. It feels tight.
Okay, so before I fasten it, I'll just turn it back, and I'll just make sure this is going in the right direction. It's soft enough. get that sort of slightly 20s.
Yeah, you don't often see a side parting anymore, do you?
No. They rule my world. Okay, so just to finish it off, one more tie. And you take both ends up, like so. And then you just do a turn and a turn. And you just lock it. But now that should feel quite tight, does it yourself?
Yeah, it does, but it feels comfortable tight.
So people can, if you just keep your head forward please, people can see that the ponytail is tight, but if you look, the groove still looks real. It's not hard and brushed back. It's got its own texture, a little bit like as if Katie's kind of fastened it herself. But because the elastic is so strong, you know, it's tight enough that it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to secure that again with one more tie, and I'm going to show you a little trick that I learned from an amazing guy backstage called Eamon. I'm going to take you can see the ends are at the top of the ponytail where you can see them. Now we can cut them, but what you get is a big end poking up. So all I'm going to do is grab it and turn that knot all the way under. And guess what? Now when I cut them off with my scissors, they're underneath, they're not on top. Go. So basically, the band then becomes a bit of a feature. That gather becomes a little bit of a feature, and it allows it to look quite cool. Okay, so back to the front please, and just to finish off, just pulling that down a little bit more with my hand onto the face, because I almost want it to be slightly swept, and we just kind of tuck these little softer hairs away. There's a little bit of spray to finish. I'm using light satin again because it's just My Best Friend by Windle and Moody. It just allows the hair to still look real and move and not instantly go hard and crusty and shiny. And I'm just going to take the obvious little ones away, but remember it's a ponytail to make the hair look like as if you've done it, not the hairdressers really spent hours brushing.
I think I could manage this.
Yeah, well that's kind of what it's really about, and that's what this Facebook Live. Do you have any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Anna Lee, could you do me one little favour? Could you go into the office and bring my computer through so we can actually see it? So just gently, just covering those little areas with my tail comb, just disguising them, and then holding and pull. Suddenly you get like a little fringe.
I like it.
It's really classic, really classy and really simple, and would look killer with like a nice little.
And it also makes my ponytail look really chunky as well.
I mean, what you could do with that said ponytail is you could run a really kind of a tongue through it just to make it a little bit more ripply. But I like the texture that's in it. I like that original, that concept, because it does look really strong and really solid and thick. So I quite like that. So as you can see, very quickly, it's got the bump over the crown, so that's pulled back onto the profile. It's got a nice little gather. It looks real. It's not too forced. And yeah, no, I'm a bit of a fan.
And what about the back?
Well, let's have a look at the back for a second. Katie Diet. Oh, let's just have a little see who is on and who isn't on.
Oh, Trey's commented. Hi, Trey.
Afternoon, guys.
Trey's on holiday.
She's always on holiday. Okay, so that's one.
So we're good.
That's one. So the second one is another variation of the ponytail. Again, it goes into the nape of the neck because I'm going to show you how to add some density and volume in the inside.
Okay.
So if you imagine you're not going, you're not wearing that slinky number, you're wearing something a bit more puffy and voluptuous to this event. Where are we going tonight? Where are we going? What's the event we're going to?
Ooh.
Cinema? No.
Well, no, because it would be too dark. You wouldn't be able to see the hair, would you?
No, that's true.
So this is more like, well, this looks more like red carpet, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
What did that feel like coming out, that elastic?
It was a tingy sensation. Feels good though.
Good. This is the second piece that I'm going to use. And because we're playing homage to the pony, so yeah, before we realised we were actually live, Katie was telling me that she's got some breakage. But before we go and discuss this anymore, I want to just say a big shout out to Lisa, because she did a perm on Katie's texture, and Katie's got that hair that you would want to wear that lies really flat and straight, which you think everybody would like, but she was sick of it and she wanted to kind of rough it up a bit. And what we're left with is this movement, which I think is genius. So we're going to feature perming a bit more as a piece in the next few Facebook Lives, because you know the way that we add texture to the hair at shows and the way that we do on our clients here in the salon is very soft and it's very iridescent, so you can see how that hair is bumpy and a bit textured, a bit of a kink here, so it's kind of perfect. And that was achieved by using a mixture of roller sizes. So
it's not natural. I know.
So I will show, we're going to work together, Lisa and I, on some ideas of using different shapes upon the hair and do it in a very sort of free-handed way, so that when it's left to dry it looks like this kind of like schoolgirl.
Because I haven't done anything with it.
No, what have you done to it?
Nothing. I sprayed a bit of water on it last night.
Water? Who told you about that?
I wonder. I think it was Nigel.
Nigel?
Mm-hmm.
Nigel Beersley?
So I sprayed some water on it. Mm-hmm. I did 2 loose pigtails, kind of bunched it up like this, so.
Yeah.
Put 2 bubbles in it, and woke up in the morning.
So you basically placed the ponytail here, creased it, went to sleep.
Yeah.
That was after you realised that when you put a top knot in, it broke the roots off. Do you not fancy a crop?
Not for a few years. So can you please give me a parting that hides that a little bit?
Where is your natural parting?
Here.
No, let's do a demonstration of what do the clients do when they come into the salon?
The clients do this.
You take the comb off us.
And they go like this. And they literally go like this.
That's how I wear it. Go on, do it.
That's how I wear my parting.
Right. So why do you think then, being a non-hairdresser but working at Brown's, why do you think it's important that we work with the natural parting in the hair?
Because you're wearing your hair every day.
Yes.
So you don't want to be placing your parting every day. You want it to fall naturally. And you don't want to say you put your parting in like this.
Very good, isn't she?
Many girls do this. I want to wear it like this over.
Yeah.
Or even more like, I think it's cool to wear it like that.
Actually, don't knock it, because one of the shows that I was involved in assisting in Paris, the hair was over like that. It had like a bump.
So this is many a look, but then you can't cut it because obviously you've got more hair now physically on this side.
Correct.
You've got less hair on this side.
Also, if you do place it in a parting, how do you know you're going to get it back in that exact same parting?
Yeah.
So what are you left with? Long pieces that flop over.
Yeah.
Or when you look in the mirror, this is a schoolboy. You look in the mirror, and every single client that Anna Lee looks at, she looks at it in a balanced way. So the balance means that if the hair's in the natural parting and it falls in its natural position, these two peak points should fall in exactly the same stage. And look, lo and behold, they do. But that's because yours is in the centre. If it was on the side and it was cut straight up, what would happen is this would go all the way to there, and this would go all the way to there, making it uneven.
Unbalanced.
So if you're one of those people that finds that this side of your hair always sits really well because it sits nice and smooth and you don't have to straighten it as much, but this is always a nightmare and you have to iron it out, that's because, or most likely, that the balance will be out in the shape.
Okay.
So that's a really important point.
So how do you get a parting?
The moral of the story really is that it's fine if you want to style your hair in a certain way for an occasion. You can do anything. There's no rules. However, if you're having your hair cut and you are asking the hair to sit and be something that it doesn't want to be, or it doesn't want to, or it wasn't designed that way, it's going to be very difficult to make that haircut last and be good for the full term. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're better to have the hair cut to the natural and style it differently during at home using the amazing Windle & Moody range of products.
So, tell me, how do you place the parting? How do you find
Always
the parting?
natural. How do I find it?
Yeah,
I'll
how
show
do
you.
you find your natural parting?
I'll show you. Okay, so it's normally on wet hair, not dry. But for your for the interest of hygiene, health, and safety, I will I'll do it on dry. We normally use a comb, and I will demonstrate that. I don't want that; it's too small.
Okay.
I use a comb. We comb the hair all the way back, straight, and we push the hair forward.
Ooh.
And you can see how your parting is basically said, "Hello, Dolly.
Yeah, that is
Pleased
the
to
way
meet you."
So,
Right there.
So Nelson,
Yeah.
put a spanner in the works. I want to disguise the breakage.
Yeah.
So can I wear it until the breakage is long enough to be disguised?
I've got your saving grace.
Have you?
I've got a grace behind the desk, but I've got your saving grace.
And don't suggest a hat.
No. All I would do, really simply, is I wouldn't put your parting in with a comb. So, like for example, you can use a little bit of foundation spray by Windle & Moody, which is a moisturising spray, and it also evens out porosity.
Okay.
In the morning, just spray the parting down, okay, and just use your finger to put it in and disguise it, okay, so it doesn't have to be so neat, so you can get bits over, and of course those bits that are over can be over where the hair doesn't.
Because that won't do my OCD any good.
What, you mean as in the pattern not being straight?
Yeah.
Well, it was a really key feature. It's a much more relaxed approach to hair. And, just dry that off quickly, really quick. It's a much more relaxed to the way that the parting sits. It doesn't have to be so rigid.
Okay.
So I guess the moral of the story is if you're trying to disguise it, just take a little bit of hair from one side, wrap it over the parting, either way, like so. Doesn't have to be obvious crisscross, but you can just break up that monotonous line, and it can sometimes just disguise it. So obviously through here, you're better coming on an angle, like so, and it just blends it out. Does that make sense? Do you think you'd be able to cope with that? I mean, even that's a little bit...
I'd say, in my opinion, would be it's a little bit too crisscrossy.
Yeah.
So could we try moving over a millimetre?
See, it doesn't look as if you've got a parting now when you look there. See, it's just disguised itself.
Yeah.
So that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, for styling, remember, you can do anything. You could take it over a centimetre and wear it over for sure. You know, and that would obviously get rid of your breakage. Because you have other breakage here as well, don't you?
No, no. I would say that's new hair.
Stuart's inquiry. Okay, so for the interest of this next look, we're going to go back to the centre because I want to do something which is a bit of a kind of homage to that kind of shape with little sexy pieces down.
Okay.
And a ponytail in the back which I'll turn into a knot. using the same piece of elastic. I know what you're thinking. It's quite unbelievable. Okay, how do we do it? Same idea. We're going to have to put a little bit of texture into the underneath of this to give it the width, because your hair's really slippy.
Yeah.
So how do we do that, do you think?
So I would say you need a piece, a smooth piece.
Very good, Katie.
A smooth and shiny piece.
Yeah, and then?
And then take a section.
Yeah.
Hold vertical.
Yeah.
And away you go.
Away I go what?
You just do it in one motion, Nelson.
Oh, sorry. Is that wrong?
You don't go up and down. It's just one to the base.
Sorry, I just need to go and check that.
Slow it out. 1, 2, 3.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh God, it works, doesn't it?
It does work.
Just gives it some guts. Okay, brilliant.
And then the smooth and one.
I'm going to try.
Disguises it, you
I'm going to
see.
try and do this on my own on this side.
Okay.
Just on my very own. Annalie, can you come and make sure I'm doing it okay? We're doing it right, Katie?
Yeah.
Dawn's looking.
So how many should you do?
4.
4.
It's just root. We just want a root kick. Because remember, we're just going to brush these out. They're just going to be there for scaffolding.
I do like the word root kick.
Okay. So there's the parting, and already you can see you're getting that. I might just go one more down though.
And how could I get this back combing to last all night long?
Back combing, if it's done correctly, should last all night long.
But on smooth, healthy texture.
Yeah, it should last all night long.
Okay.
I'm just going to do one more at the crown, and that's to kind of give me the lift. Now remember, this is all going to be smashed out here. You're not going to really see it. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thanks, Annalie. Now, just really gently, it's more of a fasten than it is a grasp. And this is where you need to use your mirror as your guide. So with an open hand, you want to just hold the hair loosely. I'm just using how gentle is that brush?
So I can't feel it. Very gentle. Do you want to do the side on?
Just a minute. Balls.
Oh, we've got a comment. Nathan.
Have we? What's that? Can you read it, Annalie? Can you read? First of all. That's good. That's good.
Oh, Nelson.
She knows I'm only joking.
She negotiated the London Underground, so...
Give us a bit of the Irish banter. Okay, so back in the pony, and if you watch now, watch there is how I'm releasing the volume. I'm just pulling that out. Grand and Woody. So it is. Our favourite man. Now, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of loosely bringing that out. And already that looks beautiful. So I'm going to tie it. I'm completely using the mirror tail comb. Just using the comb just to widen that hair. Do you want to tie it, please? So, good. Yep. Give it one really good pull. So,
Oh, that's the band, not my hair.
now just hold it there a sec. Hold it there. And I love these pieces. So because I've not fastened that totally, you can just loosely pull these pieces out.
It's like a bob.
So, and it's quite baggy. Feel it with your hand. You know, here, like, it's quite baggy.
Yeah.
So when people see it from the back, look, it's got that sort of slippy vibe to it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the hair and I'm going to twist. This is where I need my little assistant.
Do you want to know what Grant says?
What?
Hi, I can't see it from here actually. How did you find the natural parting in a wig? He's got a big show tonight and the wig has just not found its place. So he's struggling to find the parting on a wig. Nelson, what do you think?
Say that again?
Grant's got a big show tonight and he's struggling to find the parting of his wig.
It's a bit difficult with a wig though, because there isn't really any naturalness to it, so you kind of, is it synthetic or real?
I imagine, Grant, it's synthetic.
Just keep a hold of that one. Put your, yeah, hold that. That's great. So I'm just gathering that round, and I'm literally using the elastic to secure. Could you just keep your finger there? The elastic to secure that knot. Great. Fab. So, are you looking there, Katie?
Well, I would like to see it, but it's
well, I will
impossible.
show you in a minute or two
Okay.
if you just wait a sec.
Okay.
So these little kind of twists are just nice and kind of baggy.
Grant's saying he should just come down and get it sorted.
Where's that?
Here, he should just come down here and get his wig sorted out.
Well, I did tell him that, didn't I?
What colour is his wig?
Right, okay, Grant, this, in all seriousness, if it's a plastic synthetic wig, okay, you won't be able to use heat on it. The best thing to do is to boil the kettle and hold the wig under the steamer of the kettle, and when the steam hits the hair, you'll be able to then manipulate it into a position and maybe force a parting where you want it. But to answer your question, there isn't one. There isn't a natural parting in a wig, really, unless it's a certain quality. Okay, so from the front, you can see we've got these little soft pieces a little bit. So from the profile, you get that angle, look. So it's like ear covering. And then this is just a really loose bun. It's got the nice head shape. And the other side, same idea. I'll show you, Katie, don't worry, you don't have to be nosy. Okay, so you can see it's the same angle. These pieces are just extend the hairline down. So do you want to have a look, Kate? Yeah, is it bugging you?
Mm-hmm. I'm desperate to see. Oh, lovely.
Let me show you. Can you smell something, Annalie? Somebody got the shoes off. Here. That way.
Oh yeah, got it.
See how you've got the angle and these little pieces are the kickiness. And this just keeps it relaxed, you know. It doesn't have to be, remember, it's not about it being perfect and uber tight. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels very secure.
But loose. You know, like if you can show everybody, it's quite baggy, so that when you walk from A to B, your hair will move. It'll look like as if you just whisked it up yourself. That's kind of the idea.
Lovely.
So, what's Mr. Dunwoody saying? Great, thank you. Kettle is on. Who else have we got? We've got nobody. Okay, so yeah, does that, I hope, answer your questions on your natural parting?
Yeah.
But my advice to everybody would be try and make the shape of your haircut work with the shape of your natural parting, because otherwise, I always say to client, it's a little bit like wearing somebody else's shoes. Yes, they fit your feet, but they'll be the wrong size. So if you can imagine the shape of the haircut that you're having placed on your head looks like a haircut, but you're having to force it. You're not actually, it's not naturally falling into a position, which is what everybody wants when it's low maintenance and easy for them to achieve.
Wonderful.
So next week, we are hopefully going to do a bit more on texture. You'll be interested to hear, Katie. And we might even be doing some perming or pre-permed, because I don't think Lisa Smith will like being on Facebook Live. Will she, Caitlin? No. So I'll be the spokesperson, and I'll show you a few little textured areas that we're going to be working on. Very excited because, you know, permanent wave has got a bad reputation, but actually using the right way, and you're proof of it with your texture, it can be really cool. So young girls, watch out. Great. Thank you very much for watching, and Katie, can you press the button correctly this time?
Hang on, you were going to give a little shout out.
To?
Well, saying that we're looking
Oh yeah!
We have employment opportunities.
We have what?
Employment opportunities.
Do we? We're definitely looking for an assistant manager, that's for sure.
I so knew that was coming.
Can you get my black scissors? We need an assistant manager, a receptionist, an owner, and a new manager, because the rest of you are rubbish. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so the Browns team is expanding quite significantly, just due to client demand. We are looking to employ assistants, qualified hairdressers, and manicurists to support us at the salon here at 34 White Sands, which is now called
Nelson Brun.
Is that so?
Ah!
It's now called, give me one more chance. So if you could sum up the ideal person or candidate, if people are watching out there and they're thinking, I wonder if I could work there, what would you suggest that they do, Katie?
I would say they need to have the right attitude.
And what does that mean?
Well, a nice, friendly, positive person who works well within a team, who's hard-working, self-motivated, and yeah, the rest of it, we're not looking for necessarily overqualified people.
We're not looking for the next Trevor Sorbet.
No way.
No, because who can train them?
You can.
Right. And
if not, we can get. Well, if you can't train them, can you train nails? Can you do nails with them?
I can do anything. If I didn't train them, if they were a bit dubious about coming and working
here. It's a spider.
No, it's not a spider. It's a screw sticking out of the wall.
Oh. It's okay. It will fall down. Yeah.
That's 180 years old, that brick wall. Do you know that?
200, I thought.
280. So, do they have to be fully qualified?
No.
No. Do they have to have hands and legs?
No.
No. Well, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, so if anybody is interested, they can apply.
They can email me.
Which is
Katie, Katie @nelsonbrown.co.uk.
Great.
Or they could just send us a message over Facebook.
They could, or Instagram, or Twitter, or LinkedIn, or YouTube. Or Google Plus.
Anyway, just contact us.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for watching.